Yo, what's happening guys? King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Great League video. Today we're going to be showcasing the King of the Skies, Skarmory in the Open Great League. This Pokemon next season is going to be getting a huge nerf, and I thought I might as well showcase this Pokemon one more time. This Pokemon got buffed around 2 seasons ago. Steelwing received a massive buff, meaning that Skarmory's pacing was so much better, and because of Skarmory's unique typing, it was so dominant into grass types. It pairs very well with Pokemon that are weak to Fairy, such as Sableye and Goodra, which we have on today's team. Skarmory had a massive impact in the Great League meta. Prior to this Pokemon getting buffed, Noctowl was actually nerfed 2 seasons before that, and what we ended up having as a result is a season of grass-type Pokemon getting some buffs, and grass types being very free in the meta. They weren't overpowered in the meta, but they certainly were free. After the Noctowl nerf, the main flyers in the meta are Pelipper, Mantine, and Gligar. Those Pokemon have a subtyping which is weak to grass. That basically means that if you're running a Venusaur, a Serperior, a Trevenant, and you get an energy lead on those Pokemon, it's very possible to flip those, especially things like Shadow Venusaur with a Shadow Frenzy plant, and Serperior having superior bulk, able to hang in those matches, take a move, and basically play it out. Go Battle League has its issues every single season, but I think the season Noctowl got nerfed was probably the healthiest the meta's ever been. Fast forward 2 seasons, Skarmory gets this massive update to Steelwing, and the effect that that had on the meta was basically eliminating grass types completely, because not only do you resist flying, you double resist flying, so even the matchups with Venusaur versus Noctowl wasn't so horrible at times because you could Sludge Bomb it. Venusaur was basically killed by this move update. It resists all of Serperior's moves, but the only somewhat meta grass type that people could use against Skarmory was Trevenant, so once again, that completely shifted the meta, and I think it definitely shifted it for the worse. Of course, as you guys know, you guys have seen a million videos in your sub box this week. New season is coming. Steelwing's energy generation is getting nerfed, meaning that Skarmory is going to be so slow that despite how good it is against grass Pokemon, its neutral matchups are going to be super bad, and it's not really going to be a viable pick in the next meta. In this upcoming meta of Go Battle League, I hope that we see a resurgence in grass-type Pokemon. If you have a look at something like a Venusaur, if the main flyers in the meta are Jumpluff, Mandibuzz, and maybe some Dragon-type Pokemon like Dragonite, Sludge Bomb can hit all of those Pokemon, and it's even super effective into Jumpluff. So I suspect that after next season's nerfs to Steelwing, we can actually finally see some grass-type Pokemon come back into the meta, and I hope that creates a greater balance, and hopefully much less RPS matchups in the upcoming season. Anyway guys, today is our final showcase of Skarmory. Like I said guys, we're running it with Sableye and Goodra. You can use Non-Shadow, you can use a different dragon if you want to, you can use Giratina, you can use Trevenant over Goodra, completely up to yourself. Skarmory double Ghost, Skarmory with a Mudboy, Skarmory with double Dragon. These teams work perfectly fine. Before we hop into the commentary, do me a quick favour, drop a like in the video, it really helps out. Subscribe, and feel free to join our Discord if you would like some help with your gameplay in Go Battle League, and of course hang out with our community in the description down below. Hopping into this battle here, we had the Magnezone lead, not exactly ideal for this team. The Goodra can do some very good work into it. I'm gonna just call it the opponent goes for the Mirror Shot, they go for the Wild Charge. Despite being resisted, does a lot of damage. For some reason here guys, I'm accidentally using the wrong Goodra. I'm using Power Whip on this one. I do end up swapping it out to the Thunder Punch variant. We do actually get off the second Aqua Tail on the Gligar, so we look to be in a very good position now. We have one shield up, I can bring in my Skarmory. Farmery, we're going to farm it the whole way down, if possible. The opponent is starting to get us quite low, so what I may consider trying to do here, and I think what I probably should have done, is for one of these moves off here. In fact, I decide to bank all that energy and come in with Sableye. I think that is quite a good play, because if you think about it, the opponent cannot come back into Magnezone, they'll get absolutely one-shot, and we actually do, I think, free and throw right here. We BM them with this move right here, the Power Gem coming through, they survive it on 1 HP. But that should be basically curtains for the opponent. They do go for the Mirror Shot right here, come back in with the Gligar, and that's good games well played. You know, sometimes guys, the match is just over, Some of us have families out here. Just top left if it's a really bad match, honestly, sometimes. Save yourself some time, save yourself the pain, and save your opponent some time as well. But anyway, we hop into this one, the opponent goes straight for the Overheat, fantastic shield here, and the opponent's actually staying in. I believe it's 7-6 for Overheat, so we are going to have to Sky Attack here. Thankfully, the opponent lets it go, and they come into a Talonflame. I'm going to hit them with the Brave Bird. I probably should Sky Attack because I take extra damage from that Incinerate, and I come into the Goodra. I think the opponent is under the pretense that Season 20 has already started. This team is extremely weak to a Whiscash. The opponent goes for a Fly, and in comes Venusaur. Now, all of our charge moves are resisted. However, Venusaur is pretty glassy, Goodra is pretty attack weighted, and these Dragon Breaths are going to be chunking. I'm pretty fine with this, of course, because again, this is exactly what I talked about at the start of the video. This is just unbelievably dominant, unbelievably RPS. The opponent in this team, ABA Poison, ABA weak to Skarmory, and this is kind of like, I mean, the opponent deserves this because of their team, to be fair. but this is kind of the reason why, like, this is really bad for the meta. Grass types have absolutely no chance to do any damage against your Pokemon, and I feel like when you have a meta like that, where you basically struggle to do like 50% damage to a Pokemon, and they just completely farm you down, come out with 100 energy, the match is basically already over before it starts. It is super, super bad. The opponent here decides, you know what, I've got a family too, I'm gonna quit. Good games well played. Much respect to that opponent there. Skarmory versus Stinky Binky. This is one great thing that I love Skarmory for in this meta. You can actually just sit in here, farm this thing the whole way down. Stinky Binky in and of itself is an RPS Pokemon. So basically guys, what you're seeing here is two Pokemon that have extremely RPS matchups. It's very RPS in Skarmory's favour against its good matchups. If you face off against a Lantern, two Brave Birds do a lot of damage, but in general, that is super RPS as well. The opponent actually brings in a Surf, no respect for Skarmory, however, the opponent made a very good call there. I did have to go for a Brave Bird to knock that out. Fantastic call by the opponent. We go for the second Sky Attack, pivot out, expecting there to be a second Grass type in the back. In comes Victory Bell. Goodra can definitely hang in here. We're back on the Aqua Tail Thunder Punch moveset here, of course. And yeah, this is just absolute GG's. So look guys, teams like that are not teams that I'm going to make arguments for Skarmory being bad. Carbink, RPS Pokemon, you're using a Razor Leafer in the back, you're just trying to RPS teams. You know, that team is garbage. I'm not going to try to defend that. But I will say though, you know, looking at Skarmory versus those grass types, it is just extremely dominant to the point where I believe it's not fun for the person winning, and it's certainly not fun for the person losing. So hopping into this battle here, with the Vigoroth lead, we got the shield off the opponent. I decided to shield up a Body Slam here. I'm happy to try to get a bit of an energy lead here. Throw off an Aqua Tail, see what the opponent wants to do. Typically, recently you've seen this with, we're seeing it with Gligar here. You see it with Azu pretty often. You do often see it with Feraligatr as well. I'm thinking it could be Feraligatr here. If it is, we're in a slightly awkward position. Feraligatr is definitely a big deterrent to Skarmory in this current meta. I decided to shield up, the opponent goes for the full send dig, and they actually do come into the Feraligatr right here. I think I'm going to look to go for the Aqua Tail bait, see if I can force the opponent to further energy first. Skarmory here unfortunately will be dying to a move. I come in with Sableye, basically try to force the opponent's energy. Gator up a shield and up energy is just so hard to deal with. The opponent is forced to go for a CMP tie right here. And yeah, I'm not too sure, this is kind of awkward. Yeah, it looks like the opponent's just about going to outpace me here. Super, super awkward. You're going to see next season, guys, Feraligatr is going to be an absolute menace. Question is, can we make it to the Aqua Tail? We do. And this should be enough at this range. We've done enough damage with Steel Wing, Shadow Claws, and Dragon Breaths that we can just Aqua Tail, and that's good games. Hopping into the next one, we do have a Dragonite lead, and in comes Vigoroth. Once again, the great thing with Skarmory is, if it's not a Lantern, it's not a problem. You basically chip it, you dip it, and head into whatever you want to go into. We go Sky Attack here, the opponent's almost always shield. I decide here, oh, I shield this. This is really interesting. I'm not too sure about this play right here, to be fair. I decided the opponent would go for the Rock Slide right away. I'm going to take the second move. I think I decided to take swap of Skarmory, because I thought there might be a Lantern in the back, I think. And then I guess we're coming into Goodra. We've got all shields down on the opponent, so I guess we can look to try and go for some sort of a sweep with Sableye and Skarmory. A bit of an unusual play by me there. We do go for Thunder Punch right here on the Dragonite. This is neutral, this will do a decent damage into it. Opponent will get the farm down, and we're going to look to probably come into the Skarmory. We should be able to force the opponent to throw a move here, and hopefully we can sweep with Sableye. We just need some sort of a neutral matchup in the back. No Wigglytuff, and we should be basically fine. If it's Feraligatr, we're chilling, and we get the farm down. We'll see what the opponent wants to come into, and they do come into Lantern. So what I need to be cognizant of is a catch here. If the opponent catches the move, I'm basically done for. The opponent will only really make it to one Surf here. I do outpace to two AFL plays, so I can shield up the first move, no problem. I just need to make sure the opponent does not get a catch. If they catch here, I lose. I'm going for the extra, and I think I do pause a turn. The opponent does not catch, and that should basically be GG's at this point. Back in comes Vigoroth. Shadow Sableye with the extra damage to so much. We're going to fire off this foul play, and that should be good games well played. In the next game, once again, we do get another Shadow Dragonite lead. This is a fantastic lead for us, and the opponent comes into Deoxys. We come immediately into the Sableye, and this is looking to be pretty RPS. The opponent will go for a Thunderbolt here. Instead of throwing my move right away, I decide just to go for a huge overfarm, meaning that I get off potentially 2 moves on Dragonite. If I can make it to 2 moves on Dragonite, just getting a ton of value out of Sableye, and that's what we're going to try to go for here. The opponent did not do any Dragon Breaths before leaving, so as long as we can outpace, we're basically fine here. I'm going to build up to back-to-back moves here, and yeah, we should be basically fine. The opponent should be basically 1 Dragon Breath away. We go for the move here, and I think what I'm going to look to do is go for a swap. Now, arguably, this is a bad play, because opponents typically do have Lantern in the back. Now guys, this is where you're going to see the power of Skarmory. Even in this really RPS matchup, because the opponent wants to get a huge energy lead, what I can actually look to do is go for Brave Bird number 1. As you can see, that does a lot of damage to the Lantern. the opponent's still forced to throw a Thunderbolt, because if they don't, we actually survive, we get off another Brave Bird, and this actually puts them in a range where we can even threaten to Shadow Claw down. I don't think we can quite do it though. We can definitely Dragon Breath this thing the whole way down, Dragon Breath down the Dragonite, and we should be in a pretty fine position here. The opponent will make it to a Thunderbolt here potentially. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like this Thunderbolt here was undercharged or something. It didn't look like it done what it was supposed to do. The opponent has decent energy with the Dragonite. We just need to hope they don't make it to a second move. However, we're just absolutely melting them. We just about make it to the Aqua Tail. We can fire it off on land turn, and that's going to be GG's well played. If you guys are looking for a team to make a bit of a push towards the end of the season, I do quite like this core. Skarmory plus Dragons or Skarmory plus Ghosts, it does work very well. In comes this matchup right here. Super dominant for Sableye. The opponent does make it to a Shallow Ball. You need to be very fast on the swap. They do go straight for it, which is amazing, so we can farm this thing the whole way down. Massive energy lead with Sableye. We still resist the poison jabs, so by the looks of things, Skarmory has a lot of play into this team so far. Annihilate versus Skarmory and Poliwrath versus Skarmory are two very interesting matchups, which I haven't really mentioned. Fighters can't beat Skarmory. That's kind of the one sort of unique thing about this Pokemon, where if you want to have a meta that is allowing fighters to do well, having Skarmory with Steel Wing is quite good. We do make it to a last second move. Shadow Sableye is so good. This will do a lot of damage to the opponent. We come into Goodra, and yeah, this is basically complete RPS, not too much the opponent could have done there. I suppose you could make the point, if we're trying to like really completely just say that Skarmory is the worst thing ever, you could definitely make the point that poison types, again, can't really thrive with Skarmory in the meta. The opponent's got Gligar lead, Skarmory in the swap. I do go for this move right here because I don't have an obvious answer to this, and what I recognise is, if I can get a huge farm down with Sableye, I can basically threaten the Gligar. So we shield the move. If I need to throw the second, or if I need to throw a move here in general, I will do so. The opponent, I think, was just getting to the move. So, I mean, they probably want to shield, get 2 shields off me. Makes perfect sense. Right here, they probably go Brave Bird to try and give me one less Shadow Claw. Definitely makes sense. But the thing is, we've got Swap. It's the most dominant matchup in the world. Skarmory versus the other thing. I believe this game being just absolute garbage. Got like a 1-turn delay and I was not able to CMP the opponent. That's so frustrating. These move updates are fantastic and everything, but if they don't fix this, bro, this game's in trouble, honestly. In comes Ape. This is quite awkward now at this point because the opponent can make it to a Shadow Ball. I come into the Goodra, basically trying to get it down into a range. I believe we do survive this move, so I do still think we're still fine despite this game being garbage, but it is what it is. You have to try to play through it at times. We get off this Aqua Tail, doesn't of course knock it out, but we farm it down. The opponent only gets through one fast move, and that's not really going to be enough. Shadow Gligar is a lot more better, fantastic English here. It's a lot better into Skarmory because the digs actually do add up. As you can see here, we did make it to the move, thankfully. This game should have been a little bit easier than that. We definitely should have had the Gligar basically already taken out of this range, right? They would have let the Foul Play go, basically put the Hope and Faith into the Ape, and it would have been just basically game over at that point. Hopping into the next one, great lead in Dragonair. Dragonair can't stay in here and make this awkward. The opponent comes into Lickitung, which is not really an answer to Skarmory. All of the moves are resisted except for Lick. However, Lickitung being Licky too thicky, it can make this match really close actually. Look what they've done to us here. Look at our Per Skarmory. Our Sky Armory is just getting wrecked. And funny enough, like, Lickitung's like shielding that move. It is kind of annoying. It is kind of annoying, honestly. Like, they just shield that move. They're super bulky. They can definitely tank it. If I was the Lickitung in that situation, I would try to go for a CMP tie. Just tank the Brave Bird. Force the opponent to take a boosted Body Slam. But in any case, we should be fine here. The opponent aggro swaps into their Dragonair. Pretty fine with that. The opponent will be misaligned here. I go for the Sky Attack immediately. And we should be seeing what the opponent wants to do. Because the Licky got me quite low, I'm very happy to let that go. They come into the Lantern on Water Gun. We come into this. The opponent should still be locked in here. So I can safely go for this move immediately. I do have to be very careful on my second move. The opponent of course shielding, probably trying to swap out. I have to shield. It takes them 14 Water Guns to get to the move. This is getting close. I am expecting the catch. It does not come. And we're able to get off the Foul Play on the Lantern. As you can see, bang, big damage. Does that put it into Steel Wing down range? It's got to be very, very close. If we can Steel Wing this down, or very close to, we should be okay. The opponent comes into Lickitung. I basically have to commit to a farm down at this point. We do survive a Body Slam. I think we're in a good position. Can we farm it down? Come on, come on, come on. We're on 1 HP, and we do actually get off the move. I must have been on 2 HP. Super close win, and I think that's a great way to finish out the video. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, drop a like on the video. It's absolutely free. Subscribe. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on Skarmory in the comments down below. Is it good for the meta? We do get a 4-1, and like I said, I do recommend this team. I think it's quite fun and strong. So do try it out if you want to try and make a push. Thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all next time.